guys, welcome back to my channel. So today we're going to be talking about a very serious topic about relationships and problems that can happen in relationships and like very serious situations that can happen in relationships. So if you want to talk with me and have a little girl time, keep watching. All right guys, so for anybody who doesn't know, I will tell you guys a little bit about me. My name is THREADS-clevanag, and I am 29 years old, and I'll be 30 in about a month. I usually do videos on like hair, makeup, beauty, lifestyle, clothes, stuff like that. And I want to actually get more into vacationing and stuff like that as well. But today I'm going to be talking about something that I am currently healing from, and it's kind of I wouldn't say it's very sensitive now. Maybe like a year or two ago I probably will be crying over it, but yeah, so today I'm going to be talking about a relationship that I dealt with it's going on 3 years. It was probably about 3 years ago. So I'm just gonna start out with how we met, the beginning of the relationship and how it all transpired. So, and I'm gonna show you, and I'm gonna tell you guys the red flags and everything, what to look out for and all of that. So this relationship started maybe, I want to say 2019. It might have been 2020, but I'm gonna say 2019. So we started talking on Instagram. Kind of a bad idea, but every situation could be different. But we started talking on Instagram. I actually don't know how he found me on there, to be honest with you, but he sent me a message on Instagram. I replied. We were talking for a while, and then I gave him my number. We started talking for about maybe a couple weeks before we went on a official date. So the first date that we went on was to the movies, and I don't recall what movie we went to go see, but yeah, we met up at the movies. He had his own car, everything, all that looked nice. Nothing seemed off. The date went really good. The only thing is we didn't really get to talk too much because it was just, we just went to go see a movie. So yeah, but we did a lot of talking on the phone and stuff beforehand. But yeah, the date went good. So we both went our ways, and then I believe it was maybe like a couple days later. I think it was like a couple days later we met up again, and we just chilled and talked or whatever. And then from that day forward, we were together like every day. And that is one of the things, that's one of the red flags that I want to tell you guys about. Every relationship is different, but I would say that it wasn't necessarily me that wanted to be around him every day, but he wanted me around every day. So I was just there. And like the first I would say like the first month or two, it was great. It was really, really great. He was doing everything right. The relationship was good. I met his mom. Yeah, we had a lot in common. I didn't really see anything bad. I was trying to be really positive about the relationship and about him. don't like to just, you know, think everything is going to be bad from the jump. So maybe I had blinders on, but yeah, everything seemed good in the beginning. I would say that the first time that I saw like any, or like recognized any red flags, was when he lost his job. Now, mind you, he did like the stocks and like all that, when all that stuff was like, you know, popular. He did all that. And I think that like it was like going down or something like that. He was losing a lot of money basically. And so he had to sell both of his cars. He had to sell both of his cars eventually. This was within maybe like the first 5 months. This was probably within like the first 5 months of the relationship. But yeah, had to sell his cars, lost his job, and like I was the main one, you know, I was the main one working at that point. So I would notice that he was like, you know, a little angry sometimes, maybe had attitude sometimes, but you know, that was expected, because you know, even if I lost a job, I know I would probably be a little bit upset, you know, or you know, angry a little bit. So I just thought that that was what it was. So that was the first thing that I noticed in the relationship, that you know, the first mood, it was like mood, a whole like mood switch. But I am gonna read you guys off, like I wrote out a list of like the red flags, and I wrote this in 2021, so the relationship was already over at that point, and I was just, you know, writing down stuff. And I wanted to do this video back then, but I wasn't ready. I wasn't ready at all. So I'm going to just go through all these red flags and then go into detail as well, you know, about how they showed up in that relationship and what led to me leaving. But okay, so the first thing I wrote down was that he had strong feelings for me. He expressed it within the first 3 or 4 months that he loved me, in the first 3 or 4 months. And at that point, I probably should have cut it off, because I know I didn't feel that way. I didn't feel that way at all. Like, I might have had love for him, but I don't believe I was in love with him. Not like the way that he expressed himself to me. But that was one of the red flags as well, and that was within the first 3 or 4 months of us being together. Now, I don't want you guys to think that that is just a major red flag or whatever, because I do believe love is love. So you know, do with that as you will. But for me, and from now on, in any relationship I get in, that will be a red flag for me. Like, especially if I know that the person doesn't know me fully, you know, or hasn't met my family. Like, no, for me, that's just gonna be a red flag. But yeah, so another thing that I wrote down was, oh yeah, he wanted me to move in with him within the first 3 or 4 months. And at that time, I was living with my mom, so he didn't want me going back to my mom's house. I couldn't go. He specifically told me I could not go to my mom's house to take a shower. I had to come straight to his house from work. I couldn't go home. I couldn't go there. And if I did, he thought I was like cheating, or he had mentioned to me he had mentioned, I gotta turn that off because that's the smoke that I'm seeing. So he didn't want me going to my mom's house at all. If I didn't, you know, have to go there, he didn't want me to go there. And he had previously told me that he was in a relationship before where, you know, he got cheated on or whatever. That's a red flag too. Whenever in the beginning of a relationship, if he tells you that he's been through it and he doesn't want this to happen again, and he keeps harping on it, and just telling you about it, telling you stuff that you can't do, red flag. But yeah, that was another thing. He wanted me to move in very quickly, didn't want me to go be with I couldn't even be with my family, even if I did. If I told him I was gonna be there by 4 and I was there by 4:20, he would ask me, where are you? Where was you? Where were you? In that 20 minutes. That's crazy. Now that I'm thinking about it, and at the time I probably just thought that maybe it was like he just was protective, or I don't know what I was thinking. At the time, but you know what, I was probably, because this is the second, that would have been a second domestic violence relationship that I had been in. So maybe I was just looking in the wrong spaces. But yeah, I don't know where my mind was to think that was okay. He didn't want me to see my family, didn't want me at my mom's house, didn't want me to take a shower there. Like, I'm like, this is my mom's house, and I was here before I moved with you. And I didn't even really like officially move in with him because I still had stuff at my mom's, you know? Yeah, and another thing, like, when he lost his job, and his cars and whatever, it was like a switch. It was literally like a switch. Because like in the beginning, he was making me breakfast. We were like going out, even if it was just to like a small little place, like nothing like too super expensive. But after he lost all that money, it was like a switch. He got more angry. I would notice that he would yell more. He would curse more. He was punching the walls. Literally punching the walls. And I don't know what was going through my mind. I honestly cannot tell you what was going through my mind. But right now, it's like I'm thinking back, and I'm like, girl, what did you think? Like watching movies now about it, same exact thing. But let's move on. Oh, another thing. Now this was before he even lost his job. He told me that he had bought me a outfit or something. He said that he had bought me a gift or whatever, and me thinking that he's telling the truth or whatever, I'm like, oh, okay, like, you know, oh, sweet, that's nice, you know. And I was waiting. So he told me this probably within the first 2-3 months that he had bought me something or whatever. He said he was in the mall or whatever, saw something that looked nice, bought it for me. So, you know, we were together, whatever, and I'm thinking like, what about this gift you said you bought me? Another month goes by, another month goes by. Nothing. It was nothing. He didn't. It was a total lie. And I'm thinking in my mind, well, now I'm thinking, like, why would you even lie about that? I never even asked you for anything. I never even asked you for nothing. So why would you even say that? You're just lying for no reason. That was kind of weird. Thinking about it now, it was just weird. But come to find out, at the end of almost the end of the relationship, because he had described to me what he had bought me, and come to find out, it was some clothes from an ex that he had still there, because he had described to me what he got. And I looked, and I had looked through her bag, and he was like, yeah, that's from my ex or whatever. She was coming to get a bag of clothes or whatever, and I saw the clothes that was in there. It was exactly what he described that he had got for me. So and like at the time, it was I was already ready. Like at the time when I had saw the clothes, the bag of clothes, I was already ready, you know. It was the end of the relationship, basically. So I was just like, you know what, whatever. I ain't even gonna bring that up. But that was another thing, yeah. In the beginning, he had promised a gift to me, and just lied. Just lied. I'm like, you said you walked through the mall, you saw something nice that would look nice on me, and you bought it, and you was gonna give it to me. Come find out it's a bag of clothes from your ex. And I'm like, and now thinking about it, I'm like, you really didn't value me at all. You didn't. He didn't. But let's move on. So as the relationship progresses, I would say that this relationship was like a year, maybe like a year and a half. Yeah, it was about a year and a half. Probably like a year and like 3 months. It didn't last too long. But as the relationship progressed, and mind you, he still didn't have a job. He didn't have a job. As the relationship progressed, he would show more jealousy tendencies, just over small things, and some things that I didn't even understand. But like, he would like get jealous and think that I was cheating. Like I said, one thing was me taking a shower at my mom's. Thought I was cheating. He would say like, I want you to, because as soon as I got off work, I would go to his house or whatever. But he would say like, I want you to smell like you just got off work, which is, I'm like, I want to smell good for you. Like, I want to look good for you. I used to go back to my mom's house just to take a shower and like freshen up, and you know, just get myself together before I go see him. But he was like, no, I want you to come here smelling like you just got off work. You ain't got to go over there taking no shower. And mind you, it would only probably take me about an hour, but couldn't do that. Like, he would accuse me of like cheating with people on Snapchat, which I didn't use Snapchat. I only use Snapchat for the filters. I'm gonna be honest with you. That's the only reason I used Snapchat back then. I don't even have it on my phone now. But like, the people that were in my phone or who were added on my Snapchat were probably people from college, old, you know, friends, people that I don't even, half of the people I don't even know. And like one time he woke me up out of my sleep. He woke me up out of my sleep. I guess he had went on my phone, went through my phone, he had to. It was like, who is this? Who is this? It looked like you opened the message. And you know, on Snapchat, I guess the messages disappear or whatever. But he was like, who is this? I know him. He did music in the past, so he knows a lot of like people who do music or whatever. But he was like, who is this or whatever? I know him. Is you talking to him? What, blah blah blah, just accusing me and stuff. And I'm like, first of all, he woke me up out my sleep, so I was kind of confused, like, what the fuck? I was like, what the fuck? I was like, what the fuck? Now this is, oh, okay. I was like, what the fuck? No. I was like, no. And this, what he had saw was, I believe it was a party flyer that I opened up. It was a party flyer. And he was like, what was it? And I told him what it was. I'm like, I don't know what you're talking about. I'm not talking to nobody else on Snapchat at that. So that spent me, and I believe that day was the first day that he got physical with it. Now when I say that he got physical, he pinned me against the wall with my neck to the wall, like I was a man. And me, when I get into protective mode, I don't talk. I don't talk. I try not to make eye contact with somebody who's like screaming at me. I can't. Like, I just get silent. And with him, he did not like that at all. Because I just didn't want to escalate the situation, because I had already been in a situation like that before. So when that had happened, when he had brought it up, and when I told him that what it was and what it wasn't, and he still didn't believe me or whatever, I just got silent. Because at that point, I believe he had raised his voice, probably was hollering, whatever. So I got silent. I'm like, I don't know what you want me to say. And at this point, I don't want to say nothing. I don't want to say nothing. So I don't know what he took that as, but yeah, he pinned me against the wall. And I should have left. That's when I should have left. But I stayed thinking, maybe it was just because he had been cheated on before and he thought that I was doing it, and that wasn't the case. I'm gonna give him another chance. Don't do that ever. When they show you, and when they physically show you, when they voice it to you how they are, just take that as it is and just leave. If you can. But yeah, that was the first time it got physical with him. So let's move on. I'm actually proud of myself, because this is probably the first time of me talking about it that I'm not like emotional or crying or just, you know, because I really think that I'm mentally in a different state. But so another another thing that I have written down is arguments over small stuff. So we would get into like little arguments over small things. Most of the time it was about money. Most of the time. And most of these arguments, he would, like I said, pin me against the wall, or he would get in my face, you know, like he was about to fight me. Literally, like he was about to fight me like I was a man. And like I said before, when I'm upset or when I don't want to upset anybody, I just get quiet. I get really quiet. And he didn't like that at all. And as the relationship progressed, I saw that he didn't like that. So I started being more vocal. I tried to be more vocal, you know. But that made it worse. That made it even more worse. So, and I recall this one time we got into an argument over Carmex, like the lip balm. I don't know. It doesn't even matter, you know, what happened with the Carmex, but I think he was looking for it, and he had blamed me for losing it or something like that, and we were both going back and forth about where the Carmex was. This was stupid. This was stupid. And at this point, I was probably mentally drained and just didn't know which way I was going. So I was feeding into it, which I shouldn't have. That's one time I should have just been quiet, because that was just a dumb one. That was a dumb argument. But yeah, we were going back and forth about, you know, where's the Carmex, and oh my God, you lost it. Oh my God, you lost it. And come to find out, it was in the laundry basket with the clothes. But that turned into such a big argument. That was such a big argument. And that when it got physical as well, he probably I believe he pushed me against the wall, got in my face, all that. But yeah, we were just arguments about little stuff. And at the time, his brother had a dog, and it was a really small dog. And I noticed that he would be aggressive with the dog. One day he threw the dog across the room, and I was like, no, it's just crazy stuff. Just crazy stuff. It was just so crazy. And another like big thing. Watch how a man treats his mom, or how he talks about his mom. Because he was so disrespectful to her. He was so disrespectful to her. And like he would talk to her like she was the child, and like he was, you know, above her, and like she just didn't know nothing, and just everything he said was right. And that's how it was in a relationship. The same way he treated his mom. Except I never saw him put his hands on his mom. Of course, I never saw him do that. But it was a couple times that she even told me. She tried to. She was like, don't let him disrespect you, because if he do it once, he gonna keep doing it. And she told me this twice, and I didn't listen. I didn't listen at all. She knew. She knew how her son was, but I didn't want to listen. And to be honest with you, I was a little bit scared. I was scared. I was scared because he knew where my mom lived. He knew where she lived, and he was crazy. He was crazy. But let's move on. I don't want to word this the wrong way. Now, I told you guys that he lost his job, lost his cars or whatever. He had to sell his cars because, you know, he lost all his money to stocks or whatever. Now, I would say maybe about 6 months to a year within a relationship, I thought maybe he would try to get another job, and by the end of the relationship, he did. But for the most part, he was okay with me being the primary provider, aka the primary one with the money, you know, paying all the bills, whatever he needed. He was okay with it. He was okay with it. And I don't know what was going through my mind. I don't know what was going through my mind, because I gave him my cards, you know, because I didn't want him to you know, like when he was out, I didn't want him to be like, oh, can you give me your card, or people to see me giving him, you know, because I was the main one paying for stuff. But I didn't want that. I didn't want to bruise his ego like that. So I would just give it to him, and sometimes he would just keep it, or he would just go into my purse and get it. And that, don't ever do that. Don't ever do that. But it was by the middle towards the end of the relationship, I would notice that it was like money just missing from my account. I was like, where is my money going? And I had no clue where my money was going by the end of the relationship. I had no clue. No clue where it was going, what he was doing with it. And I was, at that point, I was scared to ask, because I didn't want to start a fight. I didn't want him to, you know, get aggressive with me or whatever. Didn't want any of that to happen. So yeah, I would say that that's another red flag, unless that's what you guys agree upon in the beginning of the relationship. If both of you agree upon that or whatever, then okay, I guess that's cool. But for me, red flag on the play. You okay with me? You okay with me doing all this hard work and you not doing nothing? You okay with me just paying for everything? I don't think no man should be okay with that at all. No man at all should be okay with that I would say any relationship, but in a heterosexual relationship, I don't think any man should be okay with that at all. Because now you're putting all this masculine energy on the female. She gotta be got to, because you're not. That's a red flag. But let's see, another thing that I wrote down was gaslighting. So by the end of the this is probably from the beginning of the relationship, any like argument that we would get into, he would downplay anything that I was saying, anything that I told him I was feeling, any of my any of my opinions about anything. He would say, oh no, that's not right. How you feel? How can you feel like that? A, B, C, D, E, F, G of why you should not be feeling like that. And that's one thing in any relationship. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if it's family, friends, whatever. Nobody should tell you how you feeling. If that's how you're feeling, then that's how you're feeling. You know, and if their actions is the reason why you're feeling like that, then that's how you're feeling. You can't tell somebody that they're not feeling the way that they're feeling. If I told you that I'm sad, you can't tell me, oh no, you're not sad. Make that make sense. You know, just like telling somebody, when somebody says, oh, I'm hungry. You're not hungry. But your stomach growling is growling. But they're telling you, you're not hungry. This is why. This is what you are. Red flag. That's a red flag. And I don't even want to get into like gaslighting and all of that, because it's just all over the internet, all over Instagram, gaslighting this, gaslighting that. And I do think that some of the definitions of it is just misconstrued, but I would say that downplaying your intelligence, downplaying your feelings, downplaying anything that you say, just saying that you're wrong from the jump, and just not even seeing your point of view. You know, it's okay that if you don't feel the way I feel, but at least say that, at least try to understand it. And that's with any relationship, with your parents, anything. But that's most of like the red flags that I saw in a relationship. Now, I want to talk about how the relationship ended, how I left. I would say maybe like a month or two before the relationship ended, we took a little break. We took a break. I was just like, I need mentally, I need a break. I need to grow. I need to be by myself for a minute or whatever. I need to separate from you. I need to get away from you, basically. And I just should have stayed away from him. But, you know, we took a little break. And yeah, we took a break. I believe I ended up going to see him for his birthday. We ended up just chilling together. And he was trying to have sex, of course, trying to get intimate with me, but I didn't want to, so we didn't. And he was trying hard, you guys. He was trying hard. But I was like, I'm just here, you know, just because I know you don't have anybody else, you know. So I was just there for him on his birthday. Whatever, nothing happened. I left. And maybe about a week or two later, I moved back in. We was back together. Whatever. And it was all good, of course, as it is in relationships like that. It's good the first, like, when you get back together or when you fight and you make up. It's good for the first week or two, maybe the first month. But after maybe it probably wasn't even a week. It probably wasn't even a week. But so when we were separated, I did end up just talking. I ended up talking to a friend about what, you know, the relationship, what had happened, what was going on, or whatever. I didn't cheat or anything. I didn't do anything with anybody. I just was talking. Needed somebody to talk to. And that's what I did. That's what I did. In that time that we were separated. And then when we got back together, this is the day that it ended. Now I'm going to the day that it ended. So I have an iPad and I have my phone. Now I was at work and the same friend that I was talking to had messaged me. And at the time my iPad was at his house. It was at his house. And I'm guessing that I'm not guessing, he did. He saw the message that he sent me. Now, mind you, it wasn't anything off the wall. It wasn't anything crazy. You know, it wasn't anything, oh my God, she's cheating on me. It wasn't even any of that. And I'm not going to go into detail of what the message said. But I'm just going to say it wasn't anything that he should have did what he did. But so on that day he came to my, mind you, he was driving my car too, but he came to my job. He came to my job on my lunch break. And this was probably about 11:30, 12. Came to my job on my lunch break. We were driving to a restaurant just to get like a sandwich or whatever. Or did we go back to the house and eat? No. I think we went to like Burger King or something, Wendy's or something like that. Went to get something to eat on my lunch break, and he mentioned the message or whatever. And I explained to him everything. I'm like, he was like, well, who is this? I'm like, we friends. We've been friends for a long time. When we separated, I just needed somebody to talk to, and I talked to him. And I talked to him or whatever, and I told him the truth or whatever. I didn't do anything wrong. Not to my knowledge, I didn't do anything wrong. But he got very upset. And mind you, this was on my lunch break. He got very upset with me. Very upset. Was screaming. We were arguing in the car. Mind you, my lunch break is 30 minutes. We were arguing in the car. It was just horrible. It was horrible. But yeah, he dropped me back off at work. And then at the end of the day, he came to get me. We're arguing back, going on our way back to his house, arguing. And it just continued until we got into the house. And at that point, I was just like, you know what? He hasn't changed. Nothing is gonna change. I was like, it's time for me to go. It's time for me to go. And at this point, I expressed to him, I was like, you know, I think we just need to separate. We just need to just be done. Let's just be done. I was just ready. I was like, you know what? I don't feel like even keep explaining, because it doesn't matter what I say. You're not gonna believe me. And you got set in your mind, what you think is what you think. So I'm like, let's just be done with it. We were already arguing throughout. It got horrible. Mind you, he lived in like this house was huge. It was like it was 4 stories. It was 4 stories, 4 floors, like a mini mansion. We were fighting from the top to the bottom, from the top to the basement. I was literally like, I felt like I was running away from him throughout the house. But it started off in the basement. So because that's where he used to like chill and, you know, hang and smoke or whatever. So it started out in the basement and we were just arguing. I can't even tell you what, it was just everywhere. It was just everywhere. And at that point, when we was in the basement, I was just trying to explain to him, I was just like, we just friends, and I'm not even talking to him anymore. I just needed somebody to talk to about what we had been going through. And I guess he took that as, oh, you're talking bad about me, blah, blah, blah. It don't matter. Doesn't matter. But, in the basement, we were just arguing. He was getting in my face. And at that point, I was just like, I was enraged too. So I was screaming. And I was trying to protect myself as well. Because he was, now I can't say that he like physically like did that. He didn't do that. But as far as like pushing and like holding me up, holding my arms, holding me down, he was doing that. And at that time I was trying to get out. I was trying to get out the house. And yeah, I was trying to get out the house. And I was, Lord. But yeah, I was trying to get out the house. So, my stuff, all my belongings, all my clothes and everything was upstairs at the top floor, all of my stuff. And we were in the basement at the time. So at that point I was like, you know what, I'm leaving. I'm done with this. I don't want to talk about it no more. I'm done. So I started to walk up the basement stairs. He pushes me twice, I believe. Maybe it could have been more than twice. He pushed me up the stairs, like, go. You want to go? Go. Push me. So I fell. Of course I fell. Hurt my knees or whatever. And at this point I was just crying. I was crying, screaming. You know, can I just get my stuff and go? He pushed me up the stairs. Says, you want to go? He pushed me up the stairs. Then, and right at the basement door is where the kitchen is. So we were in the kitchen, and I'm literally just trying to get away from him. I walk around like this, like a counter in the middle. I walk around. He's just following me, just bothering me, following me. He hit my head against the what do you call it? The cabinets. Hit my head against the cabinet hard. Then and I started crying to the point where I started crying. But he didn't care. He didn't care. So after I left out the kitchen, the dining room is like up the hallway. It's the dining room. He's pushing me all against the table. Pushing me against the table. And this is a wooden, like big wooden long table. Pushes me against it. It moves. It's moving everywhere. So imagine how hard he's pushing me, because this is a big table. Pushing me against it. It's moving. I'm just being pushed everywhere. And then I finally make it to the stairs to go upstairs. We're fighting up the stairs, up the 3 floors. You have to go up. No, you have to go up. Yeah, it's like 3 flights of stairs. You have to go up to get to his room. So I'm going up the stairs, whatever, and he's still just like pushing me, trying to argue with me, and all of that. And at one point, I thought he was gonna throw me down the stairs. I thought he was about to throw me, because at one point my back was against like the stairwell, and and I'm looking down and I see the steps, and he's just in my face, just still. And at that point, I was saying any and everything. I was going, because I was ready to go. But yeah, he was screaming at me, and at that point I was screaming too, because I thought he was about to throw me down those steps. So I was trying to do any and everything just to fight for myself. But I finally make it up to the room. I'm packing up all my stuff or whatever. It's only maybe like 2 bags worth of stuff, because I had just came back. Like I said, excuse me, it was only about a week that I had been back. So I pack up all my stuff, whatever. I'm going downstairs. He's still going at me. And at this point, he was throwing my stuff down the stairs, throwing my stuff, saying, get out, blah, blah, blah. But I'm trying to get out, and he's still blocking me. But at the same time, throwing my stuff, telling me to get out. But yeah, he was throwing all my stuff, throwing all my makeup, throwing all my belongings. And at that point, I was like, I don't care. All this stuff is replaceable. Do what you want to do with it. At that point, I was just like, you know what? I don't give a fuck. I don't care. If you want to throw all my stuff, throw it, because I'm going to buy some more. And I probably said that. But I'm walking back down the 3 flights of stairs. We get back down. Get back downstairs. I go outside or whatever. He's still throwing my stuff outside, screaming outside. So I'm pretty sure the neighbors heard it. And this is like a suburb. So I'm pretty sure they heard it. And he's just screaming and just throwing. And when I tell you to look in his eyes, the look in his eyes, he looked like he wanted to kill me. I could see it in his eyes. That's why I was like, I just need to go. But I make it outside. He's still throwing stuff, still screaming. I put my bags in the car. And at this time, I think he still had the keys to my car. So I had my TV over there as well. So, and it was in the basement. So I go back into the basement. That's the last thing I had to get. So I go into the basement. I'm going to get the TV. He doesn't want me to take the TV because he don't have one. Don't want me to take the TV. So I'm like, you know what? Just keep the TV. You can keep it. You can keep the TV. But I eventually ended up getting my TV. But while we were in the basement, I'm like, you know what? You can just keep the TV. I don't want it. You can keep it because you need it or whatever. And then at that point, he was charging towards me. And mind you, we had been fighting throughout this house for about an hour. I had been fighting to get out of that house for about an hour. So we're in the basement, whatever. He is charging towards me. And at that point, I was like, no, you not about to do whatever you think you about to do. And I ended up kicking him in the neck. I didn't know how much strength I had till then. I ended up kicking him in his neck, right in his Adam's apple. And that's the only time I could get him to calm down or get him to stand down. That's the only time. When I kicked him, he fell down. And at that point, I was still trying to take care of him. I was like, oh my God, because I didn't mean to do that, but it was like just a reflex, because at that point I was ready to go. And I'm like, he not about to. And I thought he was about to, like, he was coming at me. But after I did that, he was on the ground, and I went down on the ground, and I was like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. Mind you, he didn't tell me sorry not one time that he was pushing me, throwing me. He did not want to say sorry. And even afterwards, he didn't say sorry to me. But I don't care about that. But yeah, I literally, and I think I might have kicked it out of place. I don't know what I did, but I'm glad I did it, because that's the only time he was down and I could get out. That was the only time, the only opportunity I could. And you know, after I just made sure that he was okay. After I did that, I made sure he was okay, and he could talk. He could still talk or whatever. I think I might have just stunned him. I don't think I really hurt him too bad, but I think it stunned him enough to stop. And that's when I left. And I was crying. I was bawling. I don't know how I got back to my mom's house. I don't know how. Without getting into an accident or anything. I don't know how. I don't know how. But yeah, that's how I ended up leaving it. And it's sad to say that I had to get physical with him for me to leave. If I feel like I ever have to do that again, I'm not even going to get with anybody that I feel like I have to be that protective over myself with. Never. But yeah, that was the day that I left. And I've been single ever since. Single and healing. So after finally got away from him, got out of the relationship, I blocked him on everything. Blocked his number, blocked him on Instagram, blocked him on Facebook, blocked him on everything that I could think of. Except for one thing I didn't think of was my email. And And he ended up emailing me. I don't remember what the initial message said. He had sent me, like, well, you know what? I'll say this. Before I even got to block him, we were arguing on the phone, of course, after the whole situation, and he was accusing me of cheating, accused me of cheating with one of his brother's friends, and just stupid stuff, just anything, just to get my attention. I think that's what it was, just to get my attention. But yeah, still just stupid stuff. And then he ended up emailing me. When I tell you this man was crazy, he ended up emailing me and was like, oh, you do porn, and my friend showed me a video of you on the internet, blah blah blah. Is this with the same man that you was talking to when we separated? Mind you, this was all made up. This man sent me a collage, a picture. Yeah, I think it had four pictures on it. One of them had a picture that he took that I probably let him take of me, of my back. He put that picture on it, and then he put three other pictures on it with some random people that he thought looked like me. So I'm like, you went on the internet and searched up some women that look like me, put a collage together, a collage with 4 pictures on it, and he sent me a random video of somebody. I don't know who it was, but he just found somebody who was dark skinned, who he thought looked like me, just a dark skinned girl. And that just showed me how much I'm like, you really sat there and took the time out to make this whole story up? And then you're gonna bring it to me and think I'm gonna believe it. And this man was crazy. And it's crazy because me verbally saying all this, it just sounds crazy. But yeah, made it all up. I'm like, it's mental. It's something mentally going on with you to sit there and search up people who look like me and then put it all together and then send it to me and then think I'm gonna believe that it's me. That's crazy. And that just showed me how crazy he really was, or how crazy it could have got if I would have just stayed. How crazy it could have got. Now imagine if he would have accused me of that and showed me that, like, and we were still together. Then I think he probably would have did that instead of pushing and shoving and throwing me up against stuff like he was doing. I think it would have been like that if I would have stayed. But yeah, that was crazy. And he ended up, he never said he was sorry. He was like, for what you did, You deserved it. You deserved it. I'm not sorry about nothing. Just basically said I deserved it. And then he went on to say, oh, and I got people watching your mom's house. I got people watching, and I saw you. Now at that point, that scared the fuck out of me. That scared me even more. Cause I'm like, what? He was like, yeah, I got people watching you. You know how scared that made me? For not just for me, because I wasn't the only one at my mom's house. I'm like, boy, why would you, even if you wasn't telling the truth, I don't care if he was telling the truth. To this day, I don't know if he was telling the truth or not. Why? I don't know why. When you done with somebody, why can't these men just be done? And some of these women too. Why can't just be done? Why do you gotta proceed to threaten and do that and watch people, watch their every move on social media, in real life? Just crazy. And I forgot to mention, like, within the relationship, he had mentioned to me, you know, about his previous relationships and what he did to girls who cheated on him. He was like, he told me about one girl, he found out that she had cheated on him and he threw her across the room. And me, I don't know why I don't know why I didn't leave when he told me that. Or when his mom tried to tell me not to accept his disrespect. I don't know why. I think I was going through a low period. But yeah, he had told me that he had threw a girl across the room, and then he was telling me about another one of his exes who ended up dead, and they never found who did it. I don't think they ever found who did it. But and he was like, everybody who do him wrong, or everybody who break up with his ass, he said nothing good happens to him. That's what he said to me. And I was like, I don't know what I was thinking at the time. I can't tell you guys what I was thinking, but it was just crazy. But yeah, he said he had people watching the house, made up stories, never said he was sorry. And at that point, I was like, I'm not about to go back and forth. But I did take screenshots of the emails that we sent back and forth. Even though I think he ended up like deleting them or something. I don't know. Or I probably ended up deleting them or whatever. But I did keep them. And I ended up getting a restraining order because I'm like, what you just said, you got people watching me, that scared me. And I know he made like multiple like pages on Instagram just to watch me, and I think I've caught everyone, but you know, some might have slipped through. I don't know, he might be still watching me now, but it's just crazy. I had to end up getting a restraining order against him, but that's how that relationship ended. But Yeah, I would say look out for those red flags. And abuse doesn't have to be just physical, it's mental. Because I would say that was like mental and emotionally, I was so drained. I was just drained with all the accusations and just like the fake stories. Like, just everything. The downplaying. I was just exhausted mentally. But yeah, since that relationship, I have been single, and I would say that I'm just in my like self-love healing stage right now. Maybe like a year after we broke up, I ended up moving to an area like, I think I just been hiding here, to be honest with you. I think I just been like in hiding, and I think I'm ready to move. I think I'm ready to move because like, that's one thing I will say. Be on your own for a while. If you've been in an abusive relationship, try to be on your own for a while. And that was the thing with me. I had been in like 3 relationships back to back, including him. It was like 3. And then like in between those, I was either dating somebody or just, you know, I just always had, just was always, try to be with yourself for a minute and just try to like figure out what it is, what void you're trying to fill, or what do you think, what made you think that was the type of treatment that you deserved if you stayed. Because to be honest with you, I think I was just looking for love and like safety, because I wasn't looking for no money. I wasn't even looking for respect at that time. I think I was just looking for love and safety. To be honest. And like right now, my main 2 things are respect. No, my main, I don't got no 2. My main thing is respect. And how you treat me. That's my main thing now. Like if you can't meet me at the level where I'm how I treat myself, then it's just not gonna work. That's with family, with friends, with anybody I decide to deal with. If you're not treating me how I treat me, it's just not gonna work. Like reciprocation, all that, it's not gonna work. And like being alone made me realize that a lot of my, like why I latched on to men like that was because I didn't get it from my mom or my dad. That's why. I've been realizing that like the way that the men, the 2 abusive relationships that I was in, the way that they would react, you know, to me just telling them how I feel, or just you know, in any argument or any disagreement, the way that they would react, it's the same way that my mom reacts to me to this day still. And that's why I was attracted to that. Because my dad wasn't around. I had a stepdad. But that's a whole nother video. That's a whole nother, like, with my parents and stuff, that's a whole nother video. But yeah, that's why I accepted it, and I thought it was normal. Because hey, like when I was a kid, or even now, if I tell my mom how I'm feeling, or you know, something about herself, or you know, something that I just observed, it's like, no, that's not right, or it just get turned back on me, and I'm like, no wonder I accepted it. No wonder. But now I'm at a point where it's just like I know that, and now I just gotta pick better, choose better. I know exactly what I want and what I don't want, the qualities I want and that I don't want. Anytime I see a red flag, I'm moving. Nope, not doing it. Not doing it, and I'm trusting my gut too. That's one thing I would say too. Trust your gut. Trust it. If you feel like in the beginning, even throughout the relationship, if you feel like something is off, or they just disrespecting you in the beginning, and when I say the beginning, I'm talking about maybe the first 6 months. No, actually no. The first 2. And if y'all around each other a lot, you will see it. You gonna see it. That's one thing I will say. If you move quick, y'all moving in together quick, like I did, you doing everything fast, and then y'all in the same area, y'all in the same bed, y'all in the same room, the same space for a long amount of time, you're gonna see it. You're gonna see their true colors. And if you sense that something is off, go. And like I said, it's not just physical, it could be mental and emotional, because that's how they break you down at first, and verbally, and then they start getting physical. That's usually how it starts. That's usually how it goes, you know. But yeah, that's my story, and I'm so glad that I am able to even just talk about this during. This is like the end of October, so in October is Domestic Violence Awareness Month as well. So I wanted to get this video out, and like I said, I wrote this stuff down in 2021 in my journal. I wrote this stuff down in 2021. So then that's when I wanted to do the video, but I wasn't ready. So I'm glad that I got this out, and I don't think that healing, it has a stop point and an end point. I don't think it does, because it's going to be things that trigger you. You're going to be, upset about things. You're going to think about it. So I don't think that healing has an end point, or, It's just a continuous thing. You just have to be aware. You just have to be aware. Keep your eyes peeled. Be on your P's and Q's. That's what my stepdad used to say. When I used to laugh at him. I used to laugh like, what do you mean? Be on your P's and Q's. But now I know. Now I know. And that's with everything, with people, with your surroundings. Protect yourself at all means. Just like, and trust yourself, trust your gut. If something is off, you don't like something in the beginning, even if you don't like something in the beginning, just go. Just go. It's plenty out here. It's plenty out here. And right now, I think I could be dating so many people right now. And like, I think I'm almost ready to. But I've just been turning down people, and I don't know. I haven't really been on a date. I haven't been on a date in a while, but I'm trying to open myself up to it. a little bit more. But yeah, like I said, it is like, yeah, be on your P's and Q's with these men and women, because it's not just men that's doing it. Women do it too. And it's not just in a heterosexual relationship, it's in all relationships. It can happen. So just be on your P's and Q's. Trust your gut. And when you can leave. And I know it is hard. It is hard. And I hate when people, like, when I see stuff about, like, you know, like stories about domestic violence, and people just be like, why you just didn't leave? Why you just didn't go? Why you didn't do this? Why you didn't do that? You won't know what you're gonna do until you're in a situation like that. Because when I had always said that I would never be in no situation like that. And if I was, I said I would, you know, leave, or, you know, but that's not how it works. That's not how it works. And then when it's in your face, that's like somebody putting a gun to your face. You don't know what you're gonna do. You're gonna stand there. If somebody put a gun to my face right now, I wouldn't know what I would do. And that's the same thing applies with that, you know, type of situation. You never know what you would do. So I think people should be more sensitive to people in those situations, because it's hard to leave. It's very hard to leave, especially when you don't, you know, have enough courage, or you don't even have enough self-love to even love yourself enough to leave. So it's not an easy thing to do. And a lot of women, some women leave and they still find you. Like I said, he said he was watching me. So it's like, it's not easy. It's not easy. So don't ever, you know, fault anybody in that situation, or say what they should have did or what they could have did, because you don't even know what you would do. You say you do, but when you're in that type of situation, you don't really know. Some things I've been doing on my healing journey, some things that'll probably help And I've already mentioned some of this stuff. So one thing that I did write down is that it's not your responsibility to try to change anybody. Anybody. That's family, friends, acquaintances, lovers, best friends, anybody. It's not your responsibility to try and change anybody. That person has to do it on their own. They have to do it on their own. And when they're ready to. And sometimes it doesn't matter what you say, what you do. You could be crying on your knees asking somebody to change. They're not gonna do it until they're ready. Or if they even want to, they're not gonna do it. So, and you just gotta remember, it's not your responsibility. Don't feel bad that if, you ask somebody to change and they don't do it, don't feel like it's something that's wrong with you. Because it's not. Or it's something that you gotta do to make them want to do what they need to do. It's not your responsibility. And that's one thing that I'm coming to learn now with everybody. Because this year I haven't been able to shut my mouth. And I'm usually like a really quiet, I'm very quiet, very soft spoken, very just, to myself or whatever. Usually don't say nothing. If somebody does something to me, I don't say nothing. But this year I can't shut it. And I would say that too, but no, not in an abusive situation. I don't want to tell you what to do, because everybody is different. In a situation, I don't want to tell nobody what to do. But yeah, it's not your responsibility to change anybody. Another thing I wrote down was to try to recognize what part of yourself thought that you deserved that type of treatment, or that you deserve that type of person, or that you deserve, that type of mental, physical, emotional abuse. If you stay in a situation like that, own your part in a situation. Not saying that it's your fault that anybody does that, because it's not. But you have to recognize what part of yourself made you want to stay in it, or allow somebody to do it. And that can be like a want for love, abandonment, not having your parents. It could be anything. Validation from people. Or you could just want a relationship with somebody. You just gotta figure out what that is so you don't get into another situation like that. The last one I wrote down was don't ever think that you are weak because you were in or are in a situation like that. Don't think you weak, or that you just, because you're not. Don't think that. Don't ever think that. Because, when somebody mentally or emotionally or physically tries to hurt you, that's just something in them. That's just something in them that's broken. And or you know, it could be anything. It could be anything. They could be just a person who just wants to hurt somebody. It could be anything. It's so don't think that it's your fault or that you're weak if that has happened. If that has happened to you. And don't think that you have to be strong after a situation like that. You know, just like putting on armor, shutting people out, you know, yeah, you don't have to do that either. If you want to cry, if you want to go to sleep, if you want to just like write it down, go to therapy. So if you want to take a break from dating, if you want to go on another date, do what you need to do. Do what you need to do. Do what you need to do. You know, don't think you have to just be, oh my God, strong, oh my God, after a situation like that. Because for a while, I thought I had to be like that. I really thought I had to be like that. And like in my true nature, I'm like the most feminine, sweet, caring person. Don't let anybody change you. Be vigilant. Trust your gut, but don't let nobody change you. You know, don't let that happen. But yeah, another thing I would say is, yeah, get you a journal. If you don't want to, you know, if you can't afford therapy or you don't want to go to therapy, I actually started therapy this year online. I'm trying to find someone that I can see face to face, because I think it's just better. You can feel emotions more when you talk to somebody face to face. But that alone, just working on yourself, just, you know, like I said, try to be with yourself for at least like a month or two, just to go through the motions. Go through it and just think about like how did this even happen? How did this even happen? Like, try to just work on yourself. Just be with yourself. Like I said, if you need to cry for a month, you need to sleep, rest for a month. You need to just go on vacation. Just do what you need to do, but still confront what's happened. And I think therapy and it's a diary or like just a notebook is a great way to do it, because I've been writing in this thing for 2018. I've been writing in this since 2018. That's the first date on here. And like I have everything in here. I have like my goals. I have like the first page in here is like me like writing, like you probably can't see it, like good stuff about myself. Like, you are beautiful, you are this, you are that. Let me see. You can't. But yeah, like the first page, that's what I wrote down. Just something just to like when I'm feeling down or whatever. I just look at that, just read it off. But yeah, I have like my goals in here. To-do list. I have things about, wow, I got things about myself in here. I have lyrics to songs. And I've also written like poems and like, you could say songs in here too. I have like just a little bit of everything in this like notebook. Even if I have like a little thought throughout the day and I just don't want to forget about it, or if I have a dream that I don't want to forget about, I write it down in here. And this is really good for like if you don't have anybody to talk to, just get your notebook. Get your notebook until you know you can find somebody that you want to confide in about stuff. And I'm confiding in to you guys now. And this really, this took a lot, and I'm surprised I didn't even cry or anything. That just shows me how much I've grown past it. So that goes to show that you can get through anything. You can get through anything. But yeah, you guys, that is my story on that is my story on my experience with domestic violence, abuse, whatever. Yeah, I hope that this video helped somebody. I hope that you guys, you know, if you are in the situation, I hope that you find enough courage to get out and yeah, and just remember that no matter what anybody says, you are you. Don't let nobody change your perspective on you. In no relationship, nobody at all. At all. Stand on yourself. Seriously. Like, stand on who you are and how you want to be treated. Don't backpedal. If you leave, then don't go back, because that's just teaching them that what they did was okay and that you're gonna come back. But yeah, that is my story that I wanted to share with you guys. If you want more content like this, make sure that you comment below. If you've experienced this, comment below. We can just, you know, talk. Let's go back and forth. But yeah, I want to start making more content like this. I'm gonna be going to Cancun in like the next 3 weeks for my 30th birthday. I'm gonna be vlogging that, and I'm going to be, you know, just showing you guys that trip. That would be my first out of, is that other country? I think it is. I don't know, Mexico. Yeah, it'll be my first time out of the country, and I'm going solo. So I am going to be vlogging it and showing you guys everything, every step along the way. So yeah, I hope that this content was helpful for you guys and insightful as well. Yeah, thank you guys for watching, and I will see you guys next time. Bye.